Part of our human nature is we like to plan. We draw our 1 year, 5 year, 10-year plans, and they're filled with dreams and imaginations. But it doesn't always play out the way we want it to, or the way we imagined it would. And part of our journey as believers, with certainty in our faith, seeing with the true vision, the vision of the heart, is learning to have faith in Allah's plan. And yes, over your own plan. Allah plans for us what we can't imagine planning for our own selves. And when we truly believe that Allah wants the best for us and He is with us, closer to us than we are to our own selves, then Allah, who is the most powerful, makes the greatest things happen, but all in accordance with His plan. And Allah loves those who have the faith in His plan. The vision of the heart makes you realize that the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. Faith in Allah's plan, fueled by patience and tawakkul behind effort, always make the fruit worth the while. Let me take you to a story in the Quran. Musa alayhi salam was one of the most knowledgeable messengers, the most mentioned in the Quran, and he would even speak to Allah directly. But Allah orders him to set on this journey of learning. And it leaves us with a lesson about having faith in Allah's plan. So we can remind ourselves every time we read it, that the faith in Allah's plan is one of the most valuable lessons one can learn to live with. Musa alayhi salam, he meets his teacher, which many narrations say his name is the Khidr. He asks for his permission to follow this man. And what does the man say? I don't think you have the patience and the perseverance to learn these lessons. Now, Musa alayhi salam has been tested and patient through his life. But this teacher is telling him that this will be a different level of challenge and learning. And it's amazing how the Quran shows us the value of these life lessons that he's about to embark on. So then Musa alayhi salam says, if Allah wills, you will find me patient. I will do my absolute best. We learn from this introductory conversation between Musa and his teacher that the prerequisite to this lesson is patience. A heart without patience is not a heart that will learn what is about to be taught. The first stop is on a ship. The people on the ship do them a favor and allow them to ride the ship with them. But while they're on it, Musa's teacher, he starts causing damage to the ship. Musa is shocked, and his teacher tells him, didn't I tell you that you will not be patient enough on this journey? Musa alayhi salam apologizes, and they move on to the next stop on their journey. Then they see a kid who they don't know. And the teacher kills the kid with absolutely no explanation. And once again, Musa alayhi salam shockingly says, how can you kill an innocent soul who has done no harm towards you? What kind of unheard evil have you just committed? And the teacher once again turns and says, didn't I tell you that you don't have the patience for this? So Musa alayhi salam steps back and says, if I ask you anything else, then I deserve for you to not allow me to accompany you anymore. You have every reason to leave me. Then they go into a town. And the people of that town, they refuse to assist or guide them in any way. They made it clear that Musa alayhi salam and his teacher are not welcome. They're walking back and they see a wall that's tipping and about to crumble down. And so the teacher says, we're working on that wall. The people of the city are not welcoming. And here he is, the teacher saying, it's time to get to work, we're fixing this wall. Musa alayhi salam is shocked again and is complaining to his teacher, telling him, you could have at least asked for some sort of compensation for this hard work we did in this very unwelcoming town. And so the teacher says, this is it. It's time for me and you to go our separate paths. Now the teacher explains to Musa alayhi salam the reason behind every act he took at every step on their journey. There was a greater plan from Allah. There was a king who was seizing all the ships, and if it wasn't for the damages that the teacher caused to the ship, it would have been unfairly taken by the king. And as for the child, only Allah could have known that this child would disobey his parents and be rebellious. So Allah offered the child and his parents both a way to Jannah without enduring that calamity. And for the wall that was about to crumble, Allah was looking out for the orphans in that town that was very mean to Musa alayhi salam and his teacher. And the deceased father had left a great deal of wealth under that wall. If that wall had crumbled, the same people who rejected Musa alayhi salam and his teacher would have taken it all, and the children would have never seen any of it. Allah wanted for them to grow older and have their own strength to go dig up what their father have left them, but when the time is right.
قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا.
None of that made any sense. And unless you know Allah's plan, you will never understand the logic of what's happening. And your patience will continue to be tested, especially in the situations when it doesn't make sense. Now, the believer doesn't have the knowledge from Allah, but they understand with certainty through the vision of their heart that Allah is the one who knows the seen and the unseen. عالم الغيب والشهادة. The owners of the ship didn't know that their livelihood was just saved, and the parents of the child didn't know who their child would grow up to be. When you're experiencing the situation where you don't understand which way the waves are kicking you, it's your certainty in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. لا تحسبوه شرا لكم. Don't assume that it's bad for you. بل هو خير لكم. It's actually good for you. It's that certainty that anchors you from the waves of doubt. And as you read their stories in the Quran, you find that this lesson is a cornerstone to every prophet's life. From Yusuf to Ayyub to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They all encountered moments where the path forward or the plan ahead, it just wasn't clear. But they embodied for us how a heart with true vision surrenders to the plan of Allah. Imagine if the closest person to your heart, your own father, is planning your death. As you're sleeping, he's thinking of how large of a fire he needs to burn you in. And while that moment seemed horrific and terrifying for everyone, it was Ibrahim alayhi salam's Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel that Allah ordered the fire to be cold and safe, just for Ibrahim. Let me leave you with this. This lesson in having the absolute and unequivocal faith in Allah's plan, it's not easy for anyone. It wasn't easy even for Musa alayhi salam. So often what we hoped and planned for doesn't happen. The school you worked so hard to get in, the job we wanted, or even marrying the person you thought was the love of your life. Sometimes they may appear negative at the moment, but it's great in the greater plan of Allah. Allah tells us in the Quran, وَمَن يُؤْمِن بِاللَّهِ يَهْدِ قَلْبَهُ. And whoever has faith in Allah, Allah will guide his heart. It's your belief and iman in Allah, remembering that He is the most merciful, the most compassionate, the one with the ultimate knowledge. It's the guidance that will remind us to take a step back and look at Allah's plan and submit to it. There is something good in it, in this dunya and the next. And I'm going to accept that. Now, me and you don't have Musa's teacher, but we have a vision of the heart. And it won't justify or explain, but it will remind me and you that in the moments when the plan isn't making sense, that there's always a plan. And the plan of Allah will always prevail, and it will always be good. His timing is always perfect, so have faith in His plan.